Let's take a look at my top 10 Heroclix releases of the year. They're going to be figures from sets this year, so it's going to be stuff like War of the Realm, Disney. We've got Avengers Forever just coming out here in the UK over the next few weeks. Some of them are in the list because the figures are incredible. Very excited for that set. As always, these are my top 10 of the year. So let me know yours in the comments below. Let me know any you think should be in here. Bear in mind, it is just my favourites, so don't take it too seriously. Let's have some fun. Let's talk about our favourite clicks of the year in the comments. I'm going to get into mine with number 10, Zombie Captain America. Now, the Disney Plus series for me was incredible. I absolutely loved the set, but the TV show in particular, that zombie episode was amazing. It's one of my favourite series for Marvel, so the comic books. It's very different on the TV show, but it's good. Different versions is always good. I love the reboot they've done for the comic series. I love the TV show version. It's nice to have different versions, and this figure encapsulates that for me. It's a great looking sculpt. It's not overly powerful, which I'm not basing this list on powerful. These aren't the strongest and bestest figures ever made. These are my favorites, and yeah, just to represent that TV show, to add to my zombie collection. I do collect the older zombies. I've recently picked up a load of them, so yeah, this fits in my collection perfectly. One of my favorite characters in Captain America. One of my favorite things in zombies and horror. Everything about this figure just speaks to me. In at number 9, I've gone for Kang the Conqueror, which is a super rare from the latest Avengers Forever set. The sculpt looks incredible, but also the dial. There's so much to love about this. I also plan on doing a series talking about lesser known characters, and for that series I was going to talk about Immortus first. So this is something very much in touch with me at the minute. I've read a ton about the characters, so yeah, I'm very excited for these. I might actually put Immortus here instead. Last minute change, but I'm gonna. So we're gonna put Immortus in, which is just different versions of Nathaniel Richards. This one has that incredible power where it can roll a d6 and pop it onto its card. A power we've seen before. One we know which is going to have an impact. It's only 65 points, so I wouldn't be surprised to see this guy around. He's also got mission points, which they have seen some success, so we could see this guy played. It's Immortus. He's got prob. It's a cool looking character. He's very bright, very colourful. Cosmic energy, 8 range with 3 targets. There's a lot to love about this figure. A ton of great keywords. So he's going to be easy to build with. He is very powerful. Like I say, he's a cool character I've read a lot about recently. So he's in at number 9. In at number 8, I've gone for Armor. Now this is actually one of my preferred characters on this list, but it is one that isn't overly powerful. Now don't get me wrong, she has a very powerful rally, but it's sort of situational and you can only use it at a certain time, so you can't rely on it. Other than that, she's kind of stuck on her dial at the start, so she's not very powerful. You need the rally to get her off that, or you need to be hit. Realistically, nobody's going to attack her. They're going to want her left on the support, not really doing much, which is always a worry. But like I say, I'm trying not to pick stuff based on power. It does weigh into it slightly, but because I love the character so much, I've still got the old giant size X-Men version, which I absolutely adore. Leading on from that, actually, I am planning on doing a top 10 Heroclix of all time. So if you do want to see that, make sure you're subscribed. Leave a like and let me know which figures you would like to see in yours, or which you would put in yours, what you expect to see in mine if you've been following the channel for a while. But that will be coming in a few weeks just ahead of Christmas. But for now, we're talking about Armor, we're talking about X-Men. It's a good place, number 8, but in at number 7, I've gone for Arcade. Now, the old Arcade, I think it was Avengers Assemble. One of my favourite figures. Absolutely love building around it, absolutely love playing it. I read the comic book. Such an interesting story at the time. Battle Royales were all the thing. They're sort of still on now, but not quite as popular as they once were. This character, nowhere near as good, I'll be honest. He's a lot less points, so you wouldn't expect it. But he does a lot of cool stuff. He can generate killer robots. He gets to do his silly tricks and play around with a map and interact with stuff, which is why I like the character originally. It's why I liked his story. So this figure for 40 points, super rare, very easy to get a hold of. So, saying that, I don't actually have one, but he is on my list of trades. It's hopefully something I can pick up soon. Very excited to try this character because, like I say, he's got fun abilities. He's not overly competitive, so I can just bring him to the table every week and have fun. Yeah, I'm very excited to try this guy because he's got some cool abilities. Not the greatest keywords or powers outside of what he does, which is killer robots, but it's very on theme for the character. In at number 6, I've gone for Iron Hammer, again from Avengers Forever. You can tell how much I love this set. I do have a brick of it on its way, so there will be a sealed at some point on the channel. But for now, let's talk about one of the best chases probably from this set. It's definitely my favorite as it's on this list. There's a lot to love about this guy. So he's got a massively overpowered super senses, so when he uses it and succeeds, instead of just evading, you may choose an opposing character within range and line of fire to become the hit target. Now that is going to be absolutely devastating. He's already got 19 defense, so he's going to be really hard to hit. Then if he hits super senses, it's coming straight back at you. There's just so much power here. I really love the name of it, chest mounted Bifrost. That's such a cool power. But there's a ton of other stuff to love about him. He's 150 points for 10 clicks, and these are big clicks. You've got running shot or charge on almost every click. You've got high attack with 12 and 11s to start off, and then 19 18s in defense. With range combat expert, that's 13-5 on his top click. It's going to be an absolute monster. If you pull this in sealed, you're going to win some games. But also the sculpt itself, it looks incredible. We've got Iron Hammer with his giant hammer in the air with his thick suit of armor on, looking like a badass. There's not much to hate about this. He's protected outwit from his special. He's got invincible, willpower, exploit weakness. He's got minuses, or depending what you do, you can give him action tokens. There's so much packed into one figure. It's hard to dislike this. What immediately drew me was the sculpt, but I stayed for the dial. In at number 5, I've gone for the Sentry Prime. Now it's 100 points, power cosmic. The dial is crazy. So it's got hypersonic, psychic blast, impervious, exploit weakness. So however it hits you, it's going through your defense, unless of course you've got invincible. But they are high numbers for 100 points. 12, 19, 4. That is huge. When he hits an opposing character with a close attack though, on a roll of 10 or more, after resolutions, place the hit character in any square. Any square. It doesn't specify next to him. It says any square. I don't know if they're going to clarify that, but it feels like you can just put him anywhere on the map. If they do and I've missed it, I apologize. Hopefully I've amended it here, but it sounds like he's going to be an absolute monster. Imagine hitting someone and teleporting them back to your side, and then everyone just wails on him. He's going to be really hard to deal with. He's got charge flurry or running shot, so he's always got movement. He's got psychic blast later on with steel energy. For close and range attacks, this guy is Sentry. Sentry is an absolute powerhouse. He is the Superman of the Marvel Universe, and this dial shows that. Also the sculpt. I don't know what it is about it, but it just shows power. I would love to see a Superman sculpt similar to this. I always feel there's been one or two where they've hit the nail on the head. Nothing like this. There's a real horror to this. You can tell he's going to cause some damage, and this figure definitely is. In at number 4, I've gone for Captain Carter, again from Disney Plus. Again, because of the TV show, she was incredible in that. Really stole the show for me. Like I say, I love Captain America, so I love Peggy Carter, and the combination of the two was just incredible. We then got to see her in Multiverse of Madness. It's something like that. Doctor Strange's movie anyway. And yeah, I just fell more and more for the character. She's super interesting, super powerful, really strong dial. She's got 19 defense. She's got defend traded, or if you're not adjacent, you get +1 defense. So there's no, you have to be within range, which is 6, but as long as you know that, you don't need line of fire. There's no way for your opponent really to stop it without knockback and stuff. If they're putting all that into it, it's really not worth it. It's just a really powerful ability. She's got Giant Reach 6 with Quake, which is incredible. Obviously, it's that superhero landing, making an entrance, causing a splash. There's just so much to love about this character. I did think maybe the Prime, but I actually prefer the Super Rare. Let me know which you prefer in the comments. Personally, it's the attack special which sells it for me. Obviously, the shield and the defend with a unique modifier make her powerful, but the attack is what is so fun about her. Just, there's so much you can do with her. Imagine hitting in a battle royale like every other character. It's just so cool. And that's what Heroclix should be about. Cool abilities for cool characters. In at number 2, I've gone for Human Torch. Now, Fantastic Four Maybe my favorite Marvel team. Obviously, X-Men and stuff, it's hard to say. X-Force is definitely up there. It'd be X-Force or Fantastic Four. I couldn't decide. But when it gets to like Avengers and stuff and there's hundreds of members, I don't know. I love the tight-knit stuff where it's like a family or a group of friends. Or in X-Force's case, just a group of guys forced together. It creates interesting dynamics for me, and you enjoy the characters more because it's not as drawn out, there's not as many characters. It's why Human Torch is on my list. Like I say, I love the Fantastic Four. The fact that Heroclix had the ability, or so I read, to make their own character, that's super exciting for me. It's something I would love to see more from them. This character is very, very powerful, but it looks incredible as well. So they've really done well here. I know I see a lot of bashing online sometimes for WizKids, but they've knocked this out the park, and I would love to see more of this with more characters. They've done an amazing job. Not only a powerful and competitive figure, like here it says, deals penetrating damage, and that's just period. Choose a debris marker, opposing characters occupying or adjacent are dealt 1, and poison, even if it's moved. So there's a lot to love about this, a lot of easy ping damage you can deal. Yeah, it's just really cool, and it's something that represents WizKids well. It's just, yeah, thumbs up from me. So let's jump into number 2. Now this was kind of difficult because I haven't had a chance to play with the figures, but I've had enough chance to play against some of these. Avengers Forever really is going to be a huge set for me, but I've picked Dormammu. Now, not the chase version. I do actually, again, prefer the super rare. In this case, I prefer the sculpt. It's just Dormammu as I know him. And it's a very powerful dial. For 125 points, you get Cosmic Energy and Mystics, which is a great combo. A really long dial of 9 clicks. But most importantly, you get to summon a ton of mindless ones. Now, not only can you do that via the regular leadership, you can bring them in. You can also bring in a Baron Mordo, which is quite interesting. But most importantly, Energy Explosion, Penetrating Psychic Blast, Knockback. Incredible combo. Especially if they do make knockback changes to bring back damage, that could be absolutely huge. And I will definitely be playing this guy. He's got great keywords with Mystical Monster, Deity, and Ruler. But as well as that, for each 6 in the attack roll, after resolutions, you may generate an Avengers Forever mindless one on click 1 adjacent to the character. Now, not only is he powerful, he's super fun. Imagine spamming the board with mindless ones. It just feels thematic. It feels like Dormammu. It feels like a Marvel comic book encounter, which is what it's trying to emulate. So definitely deserves a place in at number 2. And this is going to be the main figure I'm hunting for. If not, probably the only one. Like some of these chases are going to go very expensive and I probably aren't going to hunt them down. But the fact a super rare is my favorite is going to make it a little more easy. I'm going to need a ton of mindless ones. So if you listening to this have any mindless ones for trade or even a Dormammu, drop a comment below or you can find my email, send me over your trade list and maybe we can work something out. But the reason we're all here, my number 1 favorite HeroClix of 2022, Collector. Now, everybody probably knows who this guy is. He's in a ton of competitive teams. He's seen everywhere. Also, you've probably seen a Disney Plus show, and he was incredible in that. That was one of my favorite episodes outside of zombies. That's why I like the T'Challa, Star-Lord, and all of that other stuff. Just interesting stories you don't normally see. The Collector is an absolute powerhouse in this one. I love the Collector in the movies and in the comic books as he is, but seeing him a lot more powerful and using some of that stuff he collects was very interesting. And they translated that very well. He's a super powerful character and it's down to your collection. So if you've got a ton of different rarities, you get bonuses. That's just such a cool thing to me. I think it's so well introduced. You're the collector in this scenario. You get bonuses. He is very powerful. He's only 25 points. He's far too powerful, especially with a stop click because he can do some stuff. He's got Perplex. He's got Incap. He's got Steal Energy later on. Like I say, a stop click with super senses, and those bonuses really do hurt you or help you depending whose team he's on. But yeah, I absolutely love the sculpt, loved him in Disney Plus, and he is my number 1 HeroClix of 2022. That's all I've got for this video though. So like I say, in the comments below, drop your favorites. Let me know any you thought you might see on this list. Obviously you guys have some idea what stuff I'm into. Maybe I've missed something. If not, that's all I've got for this episode, so I will catch you in the next one.